being swept under the carpet and nobody's calling it out. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to call it out. John Fury is a disgrace. What he's doing is bringing boxing into disrepute. It's disgusting and terrible that people will be watching this fight, the biggest fight in years.
Carl Froch and John Fury seem to have an agreement to always have a back and forth before or after every Tyson Fury fight. Well, while John Fury has been largely silent, it's Carl Froch firing the first shot this time. He's called out John Fury for being too silent after his son's loss, claiming the fighting man isn't always this silent.
At the press conference, and there's been one thing missing in the build-up. Big John Fury, the fighting man, 100 on the hard road. That man has gone. He's vanished.
Interestingly, he called Tyson Fury a disgrace to British boxing and an incompetent fighter who, despite his height and weight advantage, still fell victim against a cruiserweight. Carl Froch's training partner, Tony Bellew, trolling Tyson Fury, had said that he would destroy everyone in the world if he was as tall and huge as Tyson Fury, implying that Tyson Fury is way below the standards expected of him.
He was 20 stone and 6'9". I've told you what I'd do. I'd fucking invade Russia. But I'm not that big and I'm not that heavy. So, like, I don't know if I could ever lose if I was that big. I'm not.
Former super middleweight world champion Carl Froch was ringside and said on his YouTube channel that the right man won.
But you could have never said that Fury won that fight. So there's no complaints other than Bricktop at ringside. But like I said, he's got one eye on the prize, hasn't he? But let's be honest, the right man.
Froch went on to reveal that he scored the fight the same as all three judges. It was a close fight. It ebbed and flowed a bit in the beginning. From round 1 until about round 6 or 7, the fight was pretty close. I was scoring it, a round to Tyson, a round to Usyk. There were 3, 4, 5 rounds. I couldn't really split them. It was very close. I think the turning point was probably from 6, 7. Usyk got a bit closer as Tyson started to tire, which I thought he would do. There was nothing in this fight, but the eye-catching shots did come from Usyk. I think Frank Warren is at ringside complaining that it was a robbery. He's probably watching it with his emotional glasses on, thinking that Tyson Fury has won the fight and they'll get the trilogy. Bottom line is, Alexander Usyk won the fight. On my scorecard, it was the same as the judges by 4 or 5 rounds.
Alexander Usyk did the job this evening, got the win and retained his titles in what was a pretty intriguing fight that kind of had you sitting there watching with you. I wasn't mesmerized, but I was interested for every second of.
John Fury should be aware that his son has disgraced the whole of British boxing. Well, for this slander, John Fury might eventually break out of his silence. He might be silent before his son's fight and even in the aftermath, but it's unlikely John Fury will remain silent after receiving shots from Carl Froch.
Usyk worked, but the eye-catching shots ultimately came from Alexander Usyk, who is a different class in here. He's just a class above, because when you consider the weight and size.
Nottinghamshire boxing legend Carl Froch has told Tyson Fury to consider distancing his father from the team as he ramps up training for the anticipated bout with Alexander Usyk. The advice comes after John Fury, Tyson's dad, drew negative attention for his disruptive behavior at the recent Tommy Fury vs. Darren Till press event. At the launch conference, despite an initially respectful tone between Tommy and Till, things took a turn when John began squirting water at Till, leading to a fracas that required security intervention to keep the two fighters apart before tensions diffused.
Tyson probably knows that actually, listen, Dad, you've got your best intentions at heart. You want me to win, you want me to do the business. But do me a favour, stay out of the way.
In an interview with Action Network, Froch criticized Fury Sr.'s behavior. The usual pathetic, childish behavior from a grown man. Darren Till did have a lot to say, and he was very vocal, but at the end of the day, it's not about him. It's about Darren Till and Tommy Fury. So why is Big John Fury, the fighting man, getting involved? At the end of the day, he is a guy who wants some attention. He's a man who has never achieved anything. His son Tyson Fury is obviously very good. He's a top fighter, and we know what he's all about. I know he just lost to Alexander Usyk, but I don't pay attention to him.
Fury just sits back, keeps his mouth shut, watches his son and wills him on to win. Maybe he's in the camp, maybe he's helping him and just keeping the distance and letting the real trainers do the job. But yeah, no Big John Fury, I missed him. Where's John? Where's Big John?
Talks of pushing John out of Tyson's corner became louder when Tyson was preparing for his eagerly awaited rematch against Usyk. After his first professional loss to the Ukrainian in May, Fury was keen to even the score. When asked about his strategy for the upcoming fight, Tyson indicated that he won't be making any significant changes to his approach or team. "Not much time," he said. "I know what I've got to do. Nothing drastic. People can say, I want to change trainers, or I'll blame it on my conditioning coach, or I'll blame it on the cook, or I'll blame it on the mouse next door. Same team, same everything. I know what I've got to do."
And the fact that Tony Bellew and Carl Froch didn't make any money out of the game is obviously hurtful to them. And I'm making the biggest bags that's ever.
Former cruiserweight world champion and Carl Froch's friend Tony Bellew watched the fight closely, and heading into the final round, he revealed that he had Usyk ahead. Usyk round. I have him ahead 6-5 after 11 rounds. There are some close rounds, but I can't see how he is losing this as he's pressing the fight and outlanding Tyson Fury. It's all up for grabs here. A knockdown wins this for Fury. Bellew then scored it 10-10 in the final round, making Usyk a 115-114 winner on his scorecard. Great last round, and I couldn't separate them. Brilliant chess match. I've got Usyk, but no one can complain either way, to be honest. This isn't a robbery either way. Both fought their hearts out here. I just feel Usyk has done enough and outlanded and pressed the fight. While he agreed with the outcome, Bellew felt all three judges scoring it. 1-16 to 112 was too wide.
Quite confident. I thought I won that fight again. I think I've got Larry Holmes here. I thought I've won both fights. But then again, I've gone home with 2 losses on my record now, so there's not much I can do about it. I can just fight my heart out and do the best I can. But again, I'll always believe until...
Too wide, but I did have him winning. I understand why. It's the pressure and the consistency of his work rate that just takes rounds down. It really is. Tyson Fury is a warrior who deserves so much respect for going back in with him. Months ago, Fury got into it with both Bellew and Froch after Carl Froch slammed Tyson Fury for avoiding Alexander Usyk to face the former UFC World Heavyweight Champion. However, former World Boxing Council Heavyweight Champion Tyson Fury hit back at criticism of his decision to face the UFC man and boxing debutant in a 10-round non-title bout in the Saudi Arabian capital of Riyadh on October 28th. Prior to the fight, it was clear that the 35-year-old Brit was eschewing a bout against the former World Boxing Association, World Boxing Organization, and International Boxing Federation heavyweight champion, and now undisputed world heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk, in favor of the big money bout against former Ultimate Fighting Championship heavyweight champion Ngannou instead.
The big game changer. What's his name? Ngannou. Tyson Fury against Ngannou. So a crossover fight, boxing, MMA. Been there, seen it, heard it all before. See it with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. It's a load of rubbish. Nobody's in.
And the two retired former world champions who were particularly vocal about their dismay in Fury's decision are Carl Froch and Tony Bellew. Their comments ruffled the feathers of the self-styled Gypsy King. "See these damn balls? Lick them, idiot," Fury said. The fact that Bellew and Froch didn't make any money out of the game is obviously hurtful to them. "I've just signed the biggest deal in boxing history, which I can't divulge to you right now. They're like all these media suckers, mention Tyson Fury's name to try and get some clickbait. But without me, there ain't no fucking boxing. I run the game." Froch called out Fury for disrespecting the sport and its fans.
It's not classy, is it? To talk about money, it's not classy at all. Me and Tony Bellew, and I can talk for Tony because I know he had a couple of lucrative fights on pay-per-view.
It's not classy to talk about money at all. Me and Tony, we've done all right. We've got out of the sport with our health intact, financially free, physically and mentally in a good place, he said on his YouTube channel, Froch on Fighting. He then continued saying, "I'm an average fighter. Your CV doesn't stack up against mine. It just doesn't. You've got 4 wins over world champions. 4! Steve Cunningham, an old cruiserweight. Vladimir Klitschko in a real stinker, horrible fight. Deontay Wilder 3 times and you beat him twice. I've got 11 wins over world champions. Lennox Lewis, what's he got, 14?
We've done all right. We've got out of the sport financially free with, more importantly, our health intact. We're physically and mentally in a...
I'll tell you something. You can have as much money as you want in your wallet, you turn up to the Hall of Fame party next year, and you won't be dining on the top table with me, any my peers, because you won't belong there with that CV. Froch, however, added, advising Tyson Fury to instead mind his business and concentrate on real fights. "You should be defending your title, fighting other champions. How long have you got in the game? 2-3 more fights? It's a waste to take these crossover fights. You're killing off the fans. They're turning against you. It's sad to see.
It's nonsensical. We don't need to know about it because
heavyweight is just different, a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
the heavyweights tend to make all the money they do over decades of boxing.
Deep down, I think you know you're hurting the sport. Get in that ring with a real fighter like Alexander Usyk or Anthony Joshua. However, promoter Eddie Hearn disagrees with the result of Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury's second fight, insisting that Saturday's bout should have been a draw. Ukrainian fighter Usyk, 37, was controversially awarded the win on points, the same as in Saudi Arabia back in February, with all three judges scoring the clash 116, 112 to the reigning heavyweight champion. The decision sparked fierce debate in the boxing world, as Fury claimed that his opponent was given a Christmas gift.
Draw. I thought it was very difficult to split them. Fucking hell.
Just got punched in the stomach by Naz.
Luckily I got a transmitter in there, otherwise I would have been down.
I thought I won that fight, the Brit argued. I thought I won both fights, but I'm going home with 2 losses on my record. There's not much I can do about it. I can just fight my heart out. I will believe till the day I die that I won that fight. I felt a little Christmas spirit in there, and I think he got a little Christmas gift from them judges. An early Christmas gift, said Fury, who lost the first fight in May by split decision.
Since the British Museum stole other countries' shit for centuries, whatever, maybe these camel jockeys were giving me a small bit of revenge. Anyways, I'll see you guys.
Hearn, who's the chairman of Matchroom Sports, says that a draw would have been a fair result, having scored it 6-5 to Fury going into the final round. I thought it was a very close fight, he told IFL TV. I thought Usyk nicked the last round. I had it as a draw, but you know there seems to be a lot of people that had Usyk the winner. I think is that the overall? I just felt like there was a lot of close rounds. An AI judge, not included as part of the official scoring, had the fight even wider for Usyk at 118-112. Hearn agreed with Warren that Fury should have been given more rounds, though overall he was fine with how the verdict was handled.
And Fury tonight?
I thought it was a very close fight.
You said 6-5 on Twitter going into the last
I
round.
thought Usyk nicked the last round. I had it a draw. But, there seems to be a lot of people that had Usyk the winner. I think is that the overall.
I just didn't feel it was an 8-4 fight, that's the thing, Hearn said. But one thing I will say that was pleasing, all 3 judges had it the same way, and all 3 judges are high-quality judges. Steve Weisfeld and the like as well. I believe the AI judge had it 118-112 for Usyk. Again, I had it a draw, 1 round either way. I thought it was very, very close. But consistency from the judges, which is good to see. I guess we'll watch it back, but I found it difficult to pick a winner. I thought it was very close. Speaking on the futures of both fighters, Hearn agreed that a rematch between Usyk and Daniel Dubois, promoted to undisputed IBF heavyweight champion, when Usyk vacated that title to book a second fight with Fury, rather than face mandatory IBF challenger Joseph Parker, makes sense, though he cautioned Dubois about looking past Parker. With Fury unable to avenge his first ever defeat in the first fight, questions are being asked of where the Gypsy King goes next. Hearn reckons that it's time for the long-awaited Battle of Britain with his fighter Anthony Joshua, whose schedule is free in 2025.
Where does he go from here?
Who?
Tyson Fury.
There's only one fight, but there's no point me. It's not the time to start calling the fight out. You don't know what Fury's going to do. Maybe he doesn't want to fight again. The one thing I will say.
Eddie Hearn, Joshua's promoter, insists a Wembley showdown next year between the two would be a box office smash, even if both men are coming off losses. Joshua was knocked out by IBF champion Daniel Dubois in October. The reality is there's only one fight for Tyson Fury, and that's Anthony Joshua. It's the biggest fight in the history of British boxing, and everyone will want to see it, Hearn told DAZN. That wasn't Tyson Fury who looked finished. It wasn't a flat performance. It wasn't a poor performance. He didn't look gun-shy or like his punch resistance was in question. Tyson Fury is still potentially at the peak of his powers, just not good enough to beat Alexander Usyk.
So for me, the only fight to make is AJ Fury, but let's see.
Is that half the reason why AJ waited to see? Because obviously, and Turkey said in an interview with us, he doesn't want to make AJ Dubois next.
Yeah, I mean...
For me, AJ against Fury is the one at Wembley and then back out here for the Riyadh season. I will be pushing His Excellency Turki Alalshik to make the fight. Lewis was in the front row to watch Fury fall short for the second time against Usyk. The former undisputed heavyweight champion believes the right man won, but he understands why his compatriot may feel like he's been screwed over by the judges. It was a good fight, Lewis told TNT Sports. I would have liked to see Tyson a little bit more aggressive and go at Usyk a bit more, because he won the first fight, so it's up to Tyson to go after him and make sure he wins the second fight. I didn't hear the scoring. In terms of the winner, yes, they got it right.
I like the first fight better. This was a good fight as well, very close. You know, when it comes to heavyweight boxing and somebody's beat you,
He will feel he may have won the fight. I don't know, because I felt like he could have done more work. You know, Usyk was hitting him to the body a couple of times, getting those free shots, and those are scoring points, so I guess that's what the judges were looking at. The conversation ended with the interviewer asking, "What's next for Fury?" Lewis responded by calling on him to finally make a fight with Joshua. The two men have been dancing around a potential all-British heavyweight blockbuster for years. Even though there'll be no belts on the line, Lewis believes it's still the biggest fight of all time. He added, "Fury goes to London for the biggest fight in history. Maybe Anthony Joshua."
the first time, you gotta go after him the second time. I felt Tyson Fury should have went after him a little bit more, and it would have been a different outcome.
I thought in the 10th round he was holding and mugging him, getting good work inside. I thought that's what the whole fight would look like.
Fury and his team contested the three ringside judges, unanimously scoring the fight 116 to 112 to his opponent, as they thought it was much closer than that. Boxing has a big judging problem, and Saudi boxing chief Turki Al-Sheikh has tried to combat it by creating an AI judge, which made its debut during Usyk versus Fury 2.
Had it 118,
You've got to
110.
get rid of the AI judge.
Yeah.
The AI judge don't work.
Did you
But
think?
the only thing I will say is, come this way. The only thing.
Fury felt he had won and bitterly disputed the decision, while his promoter Frank Warren said he was dumbfounded by the scoring in the rematch at Kingdom Arena. Despite conceding 4 stones and 6 inches in height, Usyk set the pace for the bulk of the contest, showing greater skill and landing more and bigger shots with greater accuracy. Fury was outstanding as the rivals produced another classic, albeit more of a chess match than May's dramatic first encounter, and the rounds were desperately close. But the Gypsy King's output visibly decreased in the second half of the fight, with Usyk's left hand the most potent weapon of the night.
Listen, we can do whatever we want to do. What the public want is AJ against Fury. It's what they always want. And it's time to make that fight. But let's see, respect Tyson Fury, see what...
Thanks to everyone who came and supported me. We move on. We go now into a new year, and whatever that brings, we'll see, said Fury, who cut out the showboating for the rematch. The fight's done now. It's in the past. I've not got a decision. It is what it is, and we move on. I'll go home to my family. I've not seen my kids for 12 weeks. Lennox Lewis gatecrashed a Frank Warren interview as Tyson Fury's promoter fumed about his fighter's latest defeat to Alexander Usyk. Warren ranted about the result in various interviews post-fight, including one with the BBC. He said, "It's mad. Everyone who was sitting where I was sitting, and that included neutrals, thought Fury won. Oscar De La Hoya, like me, we were 1 round apart. We both thought he won it. It's crazy scoring."
Agree with the decision? No, I certainly didn't. I didn't see how one judge could only didn't give him a round from round 6 onwards, and the other 2 gave him 1 round each. I don't know what fight they were watching. A neutral was...
A split decision in this? I'm very disappointed. I know people will say I'm biased, and I probably am biased, but I temper by biasness. Lewis then abruptly joined the conversation, with Warren asking the former undisputed heavyweight champion for his verdict. He replied, "I didn't score it, but it was close, definitely close." Warren then pointed out that one judge didn't give Fury a single round in the second half of the fight, raging, "What fight are they watching?"
Overall, a great fight.
Where do you think Fury goes from here?
There's other great fights for him out there, you know. It really depends on Fury.
Patiently not seeing the result as such a miscarriage of justice, Lewis merely added, Yeah, he should have given him a couple of rounds in there in the second half of the fight." Lewis then gave his thoughts on the future of Usyk, who could potentially reunite the 4 heavyweight belts again. A rematch against Daniel Dubios, the holder of the other belt, has already been mooted, although the British fighter must beat Joseph Parker in February 1st.
Whether he wants to continue or if he wants to fight on.
We know that Joshua waits in the wings. That's still a massive fight in England. After what you saw tonight, who do you think wins that fight?
I don't know. Styles make fights, that's for sure, definitely.
Lewis suspects the Ukrainian hero, 37, who has nothing left to prove, could hang up his gloves. He said, "He can do what he wants to do. He could retire if he wants to. He could have a rematch. He could have another fight." And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop